Hey, what is up guys, Kevin here with P.O.G, and today we're going to be going over another top 8 deck profile from Curseof's Fun For All tournament. This time it was Interconflict Warriors. This deck was piloted by a user named Blaze, and yeah, as usual, let's start with the skill and let's get into the rest of it. Interconflict, right? Again, we've seen this card so many times. You've heard me say Interconflict so many times on a lot of these deck profiles, but as usual, for the other people who have not seen the videos, we will go over it. This card says, activate this skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can pay half your life points and take control of one monster your opponent controls until the end phase, but it cannot attack directly this turn. Again, that's okay, because we're usually going to be tributing it. However, this time, what are we tributing it for? Freed, the Matchless General. Freed the Matchless General is an Earth level 5 warrior effect monster with 2300 attack, 1700 defense. What does this card do, Kevin? This card negates any spell effect that targets this specific card on the field when it resolves, and if you do, destroy that card. During your draw phase, instead of conducting your normal draw, you can add one level 4 lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand. Ooh, these are all majority warrior monsters. This card must be face up on the field to activate and to resolve this effect. And it usually is, because there's only one way to really stop this, and a lot of that was with traps, Book of Moon and stuff like that. Or traps with spells, Book of Moon and offerings and stuff like that, and they all target. So, yeah, that's going to get negated. So he's usually going to search you a warrior. Played 3 of them. Good card. Really good card. Moving on, a staple in any warrior deck, and that's Command Knight. If you don't know what Command Knight does, it's a... excuse me, it's a fire level 4 warrior effect monster with 1200 attack and 1900 defense that states all warrior monsters you control gain 400 attack, and if you control another monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot attack or target this card for attacks, excuse me. So there's a buff and it has protection for itself if you have another monster, and if you have 2 of these, it locks your opponent. They cannot attack unless they get rid of it another way. Really good card. Searchable by Freed on your draw phase. Next is 2 Charging Gaia, the Fierce Knight. Charging Gaia is one of those monsters, just another good beat stick. It's a light level 7 warrior monster with 2300 attack and 2100 defense, whose effect states you can normal summon this card without tributing. Ooh. If this card is normal summoned without tributing, its original attack becomes 1900. And if this card is tributed, you can add 1 Blackluster Soldier monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Charging Gaia, the Fierce Knight, once per turn. We don't really use the second one. It's mainly the first one. It's just a normal summonable 1900 beat stick that can get a buff and bring it back up to 2300 really easily. So, be really, really good. Cannot be searched by Freed, but that's okay. Let's move on to the next card. 2 Mysterious Guard. Now, Mysterious Guard is a card that came out in the Battle City box. If you don't know what Mysterious Guard does, let's go over it. It's an Earth level 3 spellcaster flip effect monster with 800 attack and 1200 defense. And its effect states flip, target 1 face-up monster on the field, and if you control a face-up warrior monster, you can target 1 additional face-up monster on the field. Place the first target to the top of the deck, then return the additional target, if any, to the hand, if you still control a face-up warrior monster. So, summon Freed, set this, bounce 2 back, spin 1 back to deck, bounce it, bounce the second one to the hand. And it says monster, face-up monster on the field. You can do your own. So if you're stuck under Nightmare Wheel, you can bounce your own stuff back, get rid of the Nightmare Wheel, and not technically lose the resource. Really good card. I don't remember if he actually got to use this. I want to say he did. I remember seeing Blaze use this. So really, really good. Everything else is warrior, so you're most likely going to get that second return to the hand, and the spin back to the deck is guaranteed for the most part. Final monster we played, 1 Exiled Force, level 4, Earth warrior effect monster, 1000 attack, 1000 defense. This card is great. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a 1-for-1 removal. Because you contribute this card, then target 1 monster on the field and destroy that target. Again, it's a monster on the field. I got to see Blaze use this in a match where the Freed was locked down by a Nightmare Wheel and he was just getting burned to death. This came up, I believe he searched it with the Rota over here. I don't remember that clearly, but I do clearly remember this being activated and destroying the Freed, so that way he didn't die. That's amazing. That's great ingenuity and great thinking. Such a toolbox card to be able to use it for basically anything and succeed with it. Great monster lineup. 11 monsters, that's perfectly fine. Moving on to the spells, 3 Book of Moon. Again, we're not going to go over this. We've heard it in all of the other previous videos. It's an important card for this format. That's all you need to know. It can be used offensively, defensively. It's such an easy card to use. I will continue saying that every video. Moving on to Rota. Seen a lot of people have been playing 3 Rotas in a lot of like preliminary decks that people have been making. But I think 2 is correct. You're playing a smaller deck, you can get away with 2. You get to search whatever you need to search. If not, you have freed. It's your Rota every turn. So, yeah. It's very simple. And plus you only have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 targets to search from deck. And if you already searched them all with free, then this is useless. So you don't want to play too many. Really smart. Going on to traps, we have Swamp Mirrorer. Swamp Mirrorer is just another one of those really good cards. It can become a warrior monster too, so it can also get the boost from this. Yes. Instead of being 1800 attack, it will then become a 2200 attack monster, which is really, really nice. Just a little bit of extra push and oomph that you can summon, whether it be on your opponent's turn for defense or back on your turn in the battle phase for a surprise attack here. And finally, the last 2 cards in this 21 card deck is 2 Mirror Wall. Again, it's an attack deterrent if you activate it when you're on the start of the battle phase, or when your opponent declares an attack, you activate this and you make them take damage. You're not really going to leave this on field like at all. And pay that 2k. You're really not going to pay it. You're just going to destroy the card. It's just a 1-turn thing. So really good card. We've seen this in Duel Links a lot. So speed duels, it's just as practical. Moving on to the side deck, Jinzo. It's just really nice against other things. Siding out, especially decks that rely heavy on traps. There's some decks that do and some just don't. So for him, I guess playing the Jinzo on the side is more important than playing it in the main, which is really smart, especially since it gets in the way of your warrior interaction here. So moving on to Noblemen across out again for comboing with Book of Moon, and or if you're dealing with a more stall type of deck, this is a good out for it. Really, really good, and it banishes, so really, really good. Moving on, last 3 Lost Went again. Amazing card. Stops XYZ, stops Relinquish, stops basically everything that special summons and says no. So yeah, that's the deck. He didn't play an extra deck. He didn't, when he turned in his deck list, he didn't play an extra deck. So overall, final analysis of this deck. Oh my god. Warrior, Interconflict Warrior Toolbox, because this is basically almost a toolbox. Especially when we start getting things like Exiled Force and reinforcements to actually pick what we want. Really, really good. Also has a type of control variant here for Mysterious Guard, comboing very well with the rest of them, and Freed being able to do a Rota search during your draw phase is nice, if you wanted to. If you didn't need it, or if you did need the monster, there it is. Right? Overall, deck's pretty easy to understand and what you're trying to accomplish here. It's get damage in. It's not that hard. Get damage in, make sure your stuff doesn't get destroyed, right? Very simple. But with that being said, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good deck? Do you think it's, obviously it is a good deck. It got top 8. Good job, Blaze. As usual. But your opinions still matter. So leave a comment down below. We enjoy that. We love reading your comments. We love interacting with you guys. So don't be afraid to leave a comment. But with that being said, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, a subscribe, maybe a share here or there. Go check out all the links down in the description below. All the Discords, Curseof's Twitch, the P.O.G's Twitter page, all that jazz, right? And yeah, that's going to be it for me. Super easy deck to understand. Until next time, guys, this is Kevin with P.O.G's. See ya.